Hey, it's Chris. Welcome to a video where I'm gonna share with you some of the cool stuff that I've got laying around. Not the usual stuff that you might see on the channel. The feedback that I hear from people the most is that they like this channel for the enthusiasm. And it's about to get all kinds of enthusiastic up in here as we explore the first item of the day, this Satecki iPad stand/hub. The second that I saw an ad for this, I ordered it immediately because number one, it looked like something I would like. And number two, I thought the iPad fans on the channel would also find this really intriguing. Basically, what we're dealing with here is a portable stand/hub. So look at this. Here's the hub that I'm talking about. We got some ports in the back, some input, some output. We have HDMI, an old school USB, a USB-C, a headphone input, and some places where you can slot in some media. Now, obviously, as I'm just holding this here, it doesn't really look like all that much, but here's the cool thing. Once I fold this open, it's hiding a cable here, USB-C, and then it folds all the way up to reveal the actual stand. And it's also very lightweight. This weighs like almost nothing. It is made out of metal, it's aluminum, but it's so light you would almost think that it's made out of plastic. What's really cool about this is I can pack this up in the backpack and take this over to the coffee shop and set up almost like a desktop-like experience. Bring a keyboard, bring a mouse, bring the stand, and really get to work for a good couple of hours. All right, plug this cord in. And so there's that, and I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go get an SD card, and we're gonna plug it in, see if it works. All right, SD card acquired. Let's go ahead and get this set up. Oh, we're going upside down, I guess. All right, I'm gonna pop into the Files app here. And yeah, there it is, Rodecaster. I recorded a podcast on here. See if it plays. Hey, this is 2 weeks in a row. I'm getting back into the groove. Yeah, I'm playing the podcast right off of this SD card reader. And actually, it's a micro SD inside of an SD card size holder that lets it read. So it's an adapter and it's still working. So wow, well that's cool. The next thing I think we need to try is some external storage. All right, I got the Samsung X5 drive here and I'm gonna get that plugged in to the USB-C port and see if we can read some files off of this. All right, so I'm back here in Files and it's not showing up. I'm gonna plug this into the actual iPad. There it is. Oh, well shoot, it looks like it's not gonna be able to power an external drive there, which is frustrating, because what's the point then? Okay, well I'm looking on the website here and it calls that port a USB-C PD charging port up to 60 watts. So it's probably only for charging something rather than being able to read data. That's kind of disappointing. So honestly, what do you get here? You get a stand that's portable, and that does count for something. You get some card readers, that also counts for something. And you do get the option to plug in an HDMI monitor, but we all know that external monitor support on the iPad is not great right now. And you get a headphone jack, which is not nothing. Somebody out there is gonna like the combination of features, but you know what? Let's talk about an iPad accessory that's for everybody. This thing's under 20 bucks. It's an Apple Pencil cover that is from Elegoo, and it makes your Apple Pencil look like a number 2 yellow pencil. Ever since I featured this in a video a while back, I've been getting comment after comment. Hey, what is that? Can you tell me what that is? I need to have it. And so I figured I might as well just mention it for real right now in a video. All right, so that's what it looks like. And you just pop the little eraser on here, which is purely for looks. Now here's what it looks like when it's on, pretty awesome. And you can see there's a cutout. Actually, there's 2 cutouts, one on each side. I don't know why they did that. So that you can use that touch sensitive area. Of course, this pairs perfectly with what else? My paper like. So I'm gonna get into notes. Hey, it's Chris, the classic. This is the test subject for all things Apple Pencil on this channel. What I like about it is, number one, the looks, because it's just different than every other Apple Pencil thing that you see. But also the grip, it's really nice. It makes this a little bit different. Between the paper-like and this thing, man, yeah, it's like I'm writing on a real piece of paper here. Now, some people are gonna like it and some people aren't because it is chunkier. Not everyone's gonna prefer such an angular grip, but let's check out the eraser. Yep, you can double tap, no problem. That works great. But you know, this is kind of a cheap way to make your Apple Pencil experience feel a little bit different, your whole iPad experience, honestly. And actually, I forgot what I paid for this, so I'm gonna go back on the website and check it out. Oh, yeah, it looks like the grand total was $12.99. This thing's pretty cheap and affordable, and it should be considering what it actually is. I think the main thing that appeals to people when they see it on the channel is just the looks, right? You're getting it for the aesthetics mostly. And of course, it can't just look good, it also needs to be usable. And I'm here to say it's actually quite usable. And yeah, this is something I could recommend, especially because it comes in different colors. You don't have to get yellow. Of course, I know you're probably wondering, yeah, it looks cool, but can the magnet still work? And yeah, it still works. I mean, it's not going to shake off or anything, but if something bumps it, it's going to be a little bit more prone to fall off. But if you're just using it around the house or keeping it in your backpack, it's probably fine. All right, this is the next thing that I need to show you guys. I say need to because I'm practically bursting at the seams to get this on the channel. This is a light. It's a smart light, and I love it. It doesn't cost all that much, but the effect is super cool. Okay, there it is. It's glowing. I'm guessing that the cameras are going to have a tricky time capturing what this light looks like for real, because it's probably going to blow out a little bit. I'll try to fix it in post, but we'll see how it goes. I may just need to shoot some B-roll and overlay it right here when I'm talking about it. This thing glows in the coolest way possible. Right now, when you just plug it in, it just kind of filters through some really smooth gradients of basically every color under the sun. And I love it. I've got this set up on the bookcase in the office, and I love turning it on. It's one of my favorite things to do when I walk into the office every morning, turn this light on and just look at it. It's Bluetooth and it's Wi-Fi. And there's an app, you can hook it up and control the 120 different LED zones. And as you might expect from a smart light these days, you can sync it up with your music. There's actually a button on the bottom, so you can turn it on and off if you don't want to hook it up to your phone. This is another thing that I wanted from the first moment I saw it. And I saw it on an Instagram ad, I think. And to be honest, it hasn't disappointed in the slightest. Normally they're $99, but as I'm filming it right now, it just so happens that it looks like they're 30 bucks off. All right, this is an accessory that just arrived from Mophie, something that I bought, picked out, paid for myself. And what it is a Magsafe Charger. So basically it's extra power when you're on the go, works with an iPhone case, snaps on, and gets to charging. Now, there's not a whole lot to say here. There's the capacity, which is 5,000 milliamp hours. So you can see right here, I mean, it's not super bulky. Obviously, nothing beats just having your phone with nothing attached to it, but it's pretty cool that this MagSafe system is finally starting to see some accessories that can take advantage of it. Now on the bottom, there's some lights that'll tell you how much juice it's got, which is pretty standard for a power pack like this. And then it charges via USB-C, which is funny because I wish that the iPhone itself charged with USB-C, but it doesn't, so you couldn't even use the same cord for each. All right, but it's rugged, it's thin, it looks good, and I've just kind of had the habit of keeping this in my Satecki charger actually up in the office, and when I do get low, and especially if I'm going to be on the go, I just grab it and it's all juiced up and it's a lifesaver, honestly. All right, next thing we're going to talk about here is a wallet. Yes, a wallet. It's from the Frenchy company, and what is this in here? Oh, well, that is an AirTag slot. I don't know if you guys watch my AirTags review, but this is the thumbs up AirTag. And as you can see, the AirTag, it holds it in there, but it's not as snug as maybe you might want it to be. If this is a plain AirTag, you wouldn't know which way was up or down, but it kind of gets a little askew there. As a wallet, I gotta say, this thing was pretty expensive, but it does a decent job of being a wallet. Of course, I've taken all my cards out, because you don't need to be buying stuff off my credit cards. All right, but there's a place for some cash here if you want to stash it. You've got some pulls here if you want to be able to store some cards and then just stick them back in, no problem. There's one on each side, so that's kind of cool. As far as wallets go, it feels like pretty high quality. It has a really strong magnet when you open and shut it. Wow, that really snaps. And it's actually fairly compact for what it is. It doesn't have a huge footprint. And so that's nice. It's not like the George Costanza. But to be honest, this is like one of the best use cases for AirTags that I've seen. Okay, the last thing that I want to talk about today is the new Apple TV remote. Now, maybe you caught my really in-depth, informative video on the new Apple TV, talking about should you get it, or are you cool having the old one and just getting the new remote? If you haven't seen it, then it's worth a watch. But I haven't yet talked about this remote here on the channel too much, since I've had it in person, and I do just want to give you a few thoughts that I have. Thought number one, wow, this thing is chunky. It's actually pretty thick when you hold it in your hand. That was unexpected, but I don't really mind. In terms of what they've done with the buttons, we have the Siri button on the side, we have this new touchable and clickable kind of circle wheel with the center button, we have a back, we have a menu kind of a button, we have play, pause, a mute button, and volume buttons. I mean, the buttons are great. This is a lot more usable than the old Apple TV remote. There's no question about it. However, I have had some frustrations with where the buttons are laid out, like where they're actually physically placed. As somebody who is used to the old Apple TV remote, sometimes the buttons here don't make sense. They mess with my muscle memory because sometimes I end up hitting the mute button on accident, thinking something else is going to happen because the lower bottom left button on the old Apple TV remote was not the mute button. There was no mute button. It's funny because the first thing my wife said when she saw this was, whoa, it looks like ancient. It looks old. It looks like Apple went backwards with their design. And she wasn't just talking about this metal look, like the really old school Apple TV remotes. She just meant it looked chunky. It was the opposite of where Johnny Ive was going with super, super thin everything. But the long and the short of the story is, yes, this is an upgrade and you don't have to get that new Apple TV. It's not for everybody. It's for people who are really into smart home stuff. There's some cool thread support there, but this has been a worthwhile upgrade for a lot cheaper for my old Apple TVs. So I did get one new Apple TV, but for the other couple around the house in the studio, I just got this new remote. And I think that's what most people will probably end up doing and be super happy with. I got other stuff laying around. But I didn't know how this video was going to go. So I just kind of wanted to gauge the interest, see what you guys think about this kind of a random catch-all kind of video where we're just hanging out, talking about stuff that's come through the studio and the office, things that I've ordered, played around with, other than just the iPhone, the iPad, the Mac, etc. So give me some feedback, leave me some comments, and make sure you're subscribed. I'm working on all kinds of iPadOS, iOS content that really digs in and goes past just, hey, this feature exists, and gives you some context and lets you know how to use it. I'm really paying close attention to workflows. I've heard loud and clear that you guys are looking for workflows and techniques, not just the news and telling you that stuff is out there. So get yourself subscribed. Also subscribe to the podcast because I'm going to be doing follow-ups for all the recent videos there. And that's another place where we can just hang out and talk about stuff other than tech even. So I'd love for you to join me there. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.